Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 with the Kaiserreich mod. First of all, the left, the SPD and far left, and on the right, the Deutsche Vaterlandspartei, have sabotaged attempts to save the German economy, which means we are now in the middle of an economic crash, and it gets worse every time. So if I'm looking at my construction, right now I'm already having a minus 15% debuff from the Black Monday, and it gets worse every week. We're still losing 5% construction speed, base stability, and plus 10% more consumer goods factories. So we're not making any weapons anymore. We're not building anything anymore. And we are losing whatever flimsy amounts of stability we have remaining. These guys obviously are in it for their own purpose. They want the government to fail on the economy, and they want to manipulate the elections that way to make sure that they get into power. And there does not appear to be an awful lot I can do about it. So for now, we're just gonna, well, let things burn, I guess, because there's not an awful lot else we can do. We are in the process of demanding the renewal of the Treaty of Metz by the French. So that would be the demilitarized border. And well, it doesn't look too demilitarized to me, to be honest. We'll see what the French are saying. And already things are getting very interesting again. The Federalist Bloc, finding themselves under increasingly greater competition, Zentrum branches in competitive regions have been struggling to maintain their ground against popular social democratic and right-wing candidates. Zentrum candidates and party branches have begun independently making deals with local parties. So this is about the Guelph party or Welfen party from the Hanover region, and as well as a local Polish party, which appears to be more about Polish ethnic constituency. So they have some support over there. So effectively, the Zentrum, which is currently having 92 seats, but it includes some minority fringes, is looking to strengthen their position. That's pretty much it. So we can either support them, in which case Zentrum will get 2 seats in the election. The Guelph party will get another, and the minority bloc will be getting another. So that's 4 seats in total. Alternatively, the Zentrum can get 3, and the Guelph party will completely break down. Now, given that we are trying to, well, the center, the political center, is effectively the group of people who has been maintaining order as part of the coalition. So I am very much in favor of that, and that shifts things a little bit to the center, which is a good thing to have. Let us proceed. So there's one more thing I can do here. I can actually give the Zentrum 4 additional seats in the Reichstag using this decision here, but the SPD will also get 1. Okay, what happened next? We're only 4 days away from the next escalation of the economic crash, but the Bank, Darmstädter Nationalbank, Bank, yeah, that's where it comes from. First major casualty of the Black Monday financial crash, second largest bank in the German Empire. It went deep into high-risk loans prior to 1936. Oh dear, someone's been doing subprime, haven't you? Offering quick and easy loans to would-be stockbrokers and growing companies. See, this is the problem with booming stock markets. Everybody sees dollar signs in their eyes. Everybody gets their leverage going, and the banks are seeing, money to be made. So they screwed up, in short. And what happened with it now reaps the consequences. One of the companies which had been severely indebted to Bank was Norddeutsche Wollkämmerei and Kammgarnspinnerei, so a wool manufacturer, Nordwolle, wool and worsted processing plant in Delmenhorst. Much like hundreds of other companies, it announced its bankruptcy in the aftermath of the crash, having barely stayed afloat for the past several years, and finally received the blow which made the plant insolvent. News of Nordwolle's bankruptcy caused the bank run on Bank. Yeah, because everybody then sees, oh, the bank might be in trouble. I'd better get my money out of there. Are we going too big to fail? Bank had failed to reach its primary coverage ratio for the past several years to its speculative loaning practices. It's absolutely their fault. Across the empire, investors and citizens alike are withdrawing their savings and retreating from the market. Banks are collapsing one after another, caught completely unprepared by the enormous crash, and the financial system of the empire has been left completely crippled. So the Reichsbank can't do anything because of the political extremists here who are happily burning the country down for their own personal gain. And the Bank has declared bankruptcy as well, and this has caused a terrifying mood, because everybody went, well, if one of the older, more respected banks actually was mismanaged like that, and the Reichsbank is paralyzed because of political scheming, then all the other banks are going to go down too. And there you have a cascade of the system works as long as everybody believes it works. If you put your money in the bank, that doesn't mean that your money is in the bank. That means that you can get your money back out of the bank, provided that not everybody is doing it at the same time. If everybody's doing it at the same time, yeah. This is a nightmare. What does it cost us? 8% stability, 50 political power. And I don't have a response. What am I supposed to do? My stability is down to 31%. We're going to have more war support than stability. So stability is approaching Russian levels, and there's still absolutely nothing that I can do, except for sit, wait, and shoot angry looks at these people here. Well, at the very least, we are getting something out of the sale of planes that we're having. So we have an economics capacity surplus of 800, and that actually seems to be going into construction, because I can see it here. Okay, what happens? Communards. Is that some sort of insult for the French? Communards. It kind of sounds like. Government of the Commune of France has accepted our reasonable demand and will renew the Treaty of Metz. This should delay any hostilities in Western Europe for some time, and that reduces the world tension down back to zero. Well, that's the only good thing coming out of that. So we're done here. Yes, what I was trying to say is that from our sale of airplanes, we are actually getting a little bit of an economic surplus, which gives us effectively IC that goes into apparently most of the constructions here, but to different degrees, which is quite fascinating. But yeah, we are getting economic surplus from our sale to various places. Anyway, I need to select a new national focus. Now, what can we do? We still can't do anything about... Okay, because Schleicher just by himself he's the chancellor right now. So we can't do an awful lot there. We can reinforce fortifications 42 days. We can do expanding the colonial budgets. Honestly, that's probably not a great idea, because our economy is collapsing right now. So shifting money over into the colonies is not so great. We can make ourselves friends with the US, which it might not be a terrible idea. Or we can work towards the Ostwahl, which leads to some effects where we can get army experience, which I am very much in favor of. But with the minus 75% modifier, we're not going to get an awful lot out of that anyway. But given that the situation in Russia right now, I am somewhat tempted to get that started. The French have just signed the treaty, so I don't think they are going to rush in here anytime soon. So we can either get another operative, or maybe we'll do that. Well, we'll just grab another operative, get a random agency upgrade, because right now I don't have any civilian factories left for agency upgrades. So maybe that's not a terrible thing to do. Let's do that. That gives me a second operative and another agency upgrade. I should be able to become spy master, but I don't have the upgrades, and I certainly don't have the political power to do it. Okay, what else was going on? I think everything else is pretty much in good hands as far as just watching things burn goes. We are getting some intel about the French, and I think after signing the treaty, they are hopefully less inclined to go to war. But what do we know about the French? They have an okay amount of division. How about the French Navy? What do we know about it? Well, it exists, and the Air Force is not too shabby either. Air is definitely one area where we need to invest. I currently only have two air wings and a couple of torpedo bombers. I think we have... What are we producing? We are producing the Heinkels, but I don't think we have enough of them. We just have two sitting there. Okay, what now? The Austrian Empire withdraws from Italy. It is clear that Black Monday has hit the Austrian Empire hard. The Austro-Hungarian Reichskriegsminister today announced he was recalling divisions stationed in Italian territory, unable to afford the financial burden of keeping them there, safe from the Socialist Republic of Italy. For good or ill, the Italian Republic is now effectively independent of Austrian domination, at least until the Austrians regain their full strength and decide whether or not their interests in the Italian peninsula are worth regaining. Many in the Italian Republic have expressed worry about whether or not this will leave them exposed to attack from the Socialist Republic of Italy, a move which would plunge Italy into civil war once again. The Italian Republic, which is a social liberal, okay. He appears to be the leader of that. So a socially liberal democratic state, more or less. The Austrians are no longer defending this. So these guys, the socialists, can get funny ideas. Also, there's the Pope, and who appears to be independent, and the two Sicilies, which is social conservative, another democratic state down south here. Under this guy. All right. So yeah, things are not going well for Austria either. Not an awful lot we can do about it. So Austria-Hungary, you're big enough to sort that themselves. I have my own problems right now. So and the escalation of the economic crash just went through, which means I have lost even more I've lost even more stability. Yep, there's another 5% stability down, and I am increasingly losing factories to be actually able to do anything, and construction speed is dropping into the gutter as well. So I think under these circumstances, I will probably prioritize getting a couple of the military factories done before we're concentrating on the dockyards here. And I'm still trying to get these civilian factories out, but we'll see for how long that lasts. So at least I can get a little bit of production while this thing is going on. But yeah, it's not a good situation. Very much not. Neue Wirtschaft. Having earned the attention of the public with his accurate prediction of the Black Monday stock market crash, Walter Rathenau, I don't think he was von Rathenau. I don't think he was noble from what I remember. He was more of an economist, theorist, and part actually of the... well, at least in the original timeline, part of the German government, has not stopped there. Maybe he's been elevated in nobility in here. So we'll roll with that. Instead, in the aftermath of the Black Week and the onset of the greatest economic crisis Germany has faced since the Weltkrieg, he has published an 11-page document for a full-scale reform of the economic system. This document has been proliferated across parties and major newspapers. Those well-read could tell that this document was a summary and somewhat moderate implementation of Rathenau's ideas of his 1919 work, Neue Wirtschaft, the New Economy. So what does that contain? Firm believer in his economic program, Rathenau believes the Black Monday is the perfect opportunity, another opportunist, to pursue a full economic reform. Powers of the government in economic management must be greatly expanded, and wartime offices for the control of economic affairs and distribution of resources must be restored. He doesn't propose it in the economic program yet, but he dreams of a utopian classless society with which will free workers of, oh dear, and he's from the left, which will free workers from soulless labor. The mundanity of work cannot be resolved with socialist promises of wage raises or shorter hours, complete okay, so this is one of these people, one on the left, who was like, oh, this is not terrible, burning down the complete economy, destroying everybody's livelihood, driving businesses into bankruptcy. No, he sees it as an opportunity to create his socialist utopia. Yeah, interesting program for sure. And that, of course, that means the left are getting additional seats. How many seats do they have now? Hang on. That's 130. I'm not sure exactly which parties are going to be going into a coalition here, but that's 195, 200, 207 if these are going together. So they effectively just need to convince one of the minority blocks here, and then the left is in power in Germany. I mean, the Democrats, really. But yeah, we can see. I think there was a focus. Yeah, Rathenau plan here. So that's definitely the left wing sort of utopia thing. Okay. Right now everything's on fire, so we'll see how bad this is going to get before it gets any better. And there we have it. Dirksen, the Reichskanzler, has resigned. Has been anticipated ever since last year, finally arrived thanks to the Black Monday market crash. Seeing little initiative from the parties in the Reichstag, Wilhelm II appointed the current Minister-President of Prussia, Siegfried von Rödern, as a new Reichskanzler. An elder civil servant with years of experience in the federal and Prussian government alike, he currently heads a non-partisan government of the center and right in Prussia, staffed with right-wing politicians and non-partisan professionals. Though his government is not planning to survive the April election, has a lot on its plate regardless. So what do we have? We have... actually, I thought von Schleicher was coming in. I might have misunderstood that, actually. So it looks like the Reichskanzler Dirksen was actually still in power and has now been replaced by Siegfried von Rödern, Minister-President of Prussia. So we can either go with... we can choose. No, we can... what can we choose? Rödern's preference is to assemble a non-partisan emergency cabinet, sounds good. Staffed mainly by civil servants he relied upon in Prussia, sounds good. And none of these people. And promulgate emergency economic control, sounds good to me, is what we tried in the first place. If it wasn't for these clowns, we would have done it. The Prussian lockdown of the federal government is bound to go poorly with the states, however. An alternative approach would be to keep Brüning as vice-chancellor and work with the Reichstag. No, you can't work with these people. Brockdorf could forge a grand coalition after the dramatic 24 election, so perhaps Rödern can replicate the same feat. So we have two choices. We can either... I very much lean towards the first. This gives us minus 5% political power gain, but a bit of stability, increases training time. The Social Conservative Party will be called Kabinett Rödern. 50 political power, which doesn't matter, and plus 0.3% stability per week. That's actually nice. Or we bet that he can restore the Grand Coalition, which gives us the same thing, but none of the weekly stability. Because he cannot. Because these clowns are not... They're not going to save us. They want us to burn. So, yes, Germany needs a responsible cabinet above party politics. There we go. Sheesh. So now the current government is Kabinett Rödern, and Social Conservative running the government. All right, then let's keep going. Right, so I had a quick look, and yes, von Schleicher is not actually the chancellor at this point. It was just mentioned that he is a potential candidate in the arena. So I was a little bit. He was behind Dirksen actually, but given that he's the Prussian war minister, I'm pretty sure he's going to get along with von Rödern as well. So he seems to be the one to eventually lead things, but we will see how that goes. It's just that the game's hinting towards it. But for now, what's going on here? Illusion of Qing hegemony shatters. The facade of Chinese unity, having held together for nearly a decade, has begun to crumble. Rising unrest in the League of Eight Provinces, the economic shock of Black Monday portending German retrenchment, and the inability of the national government to deliver a decisive response, to either has made one thing clear. Beijing's monopoly on power is broken, and now the future is any man's game. And that increases the world tension by 2. Let's have a look. That sounds like effectively, so if I understand that correctly, most of this, can we see this in factions? It's not quite clear, but this all seems to be separate. Like none of this is in a faction, but I think this is all pretty much. Oh, now it's colored differently. Okay, there we go. This is these guys together, maybe. Anyway, things are going badly. There was a focus here that I could take. Second expedition to China, but it seems like not yet. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. However, I am somewhat inclined to. I mean, if things go sideways here, I might send a couple of. Let's see, where we can't actually spare anything, but maybe we can send a couple of. I mean, cavalry divisions are not going to be useful in any. What is the terrain down here? I was thinking of sending a couple of divisions over, just to have something in the area. This is mostly supply is going to be dreadful over here, isn't it? Yeah, Hanoi is actually. It's not too bad. I was thinking of just putting a couple of divisions here, just in case we need to quickly. Address anything, so maybe I might send the cavalry divisions over. So let's create a new theater, and that is the Asian theater, and this is going to be the European theater, just so we don't get things confused. And we actually hang on. Oh. I have sent the whole second army over. I was like, how do I already have an army over there? Yeah, no, I just actually wanted these guys. So you can get back to the other theater. Okay, so in the Asian theater, we now have the 5th army, which consists of some cavalry, which actually just... I should have probably checked if I actually have military access, but let's see if we can send them to Hanoi. 4 cavalry divisions. Who can we? I'm pretty sure we have a cavalry officer or something similar. Von Mackensen. Yeah, we will send him. That'll do. Let's send von Mackensen, and who's going to take care of that? He's a trickster, artillery leader. Yeah, von Blomberg can take this. Okay, so these 2, and yes, I am not getting any command power, so I can't actually upgrade their skills. I will send 4 divisions over just in case anything goes sideways here. I don't know. But to reinforce our colony in German East Asia after they know what they've done, after the troubles they've been causing us. Okay, so let's get that going. And I still don't have any kind of decisions to deal with the whole situation. So let's keep going here. Oh, mass layoffs. As the end of February dawns, 20th, Reichsbank and state institutions have finally begun making the first action towards stabilizing the free-fall markets. Yes, thank you. I am losing all my stability and my construction and everything. Bank holiday has been established, as we should have done in the first place, and would have if it wasn't for these clowns. Emergency bailouts for the keystone banks that survived the initial crash have been sent out, though all of the state's actions so far have been kept at minimum, as the Reichstag remains deadlocked and the election is approaching soon. They are still pouring fuel into the fire. By now, however, the damage has already been done. Yep. With the financial sector crippled and the international economic system trembling, demand for German exports has collapsed, and companies across Germany are forced to either declare insolvency or drastically cut costs. For almost all industries, that means relieving workers. Yes, because if you don't have an industry, suddenly you don't need to employ people. Many of them, and the number of unemployed who have been cast out to the streets is now in the millions. The Bauer-Gisbert's labor reforms of 1925 established a system of unemployment insurance for German workers, and thus a meager pension allows the unemployed to make ends meet somewhat. But this has taxed the already struggling finances of the empire greatly, because once again, if you are tax funding something like that, it all works well as long as the economy works. But in an economic crash, this becomes a liability. And in numerous cases, the impact of the crash has been a lot more tragic. Stock market brokers who had lost everything in the past few weeks, well, you shouldn't have been betting all your money on emerging markets and all these kind of things, right? You need to know what you're investing in. Struggling artisans who had refined their humble career for decades and saw their life ambitions crash these days. Yes, you are pretending to be the party of the people. Look what you're doing here. All have taken a liking to ending their lives, and state police forces have been forced to patrol bridges more often. And another 8% stability gone. And we're losing 2 military factories and 2 civilian factories. Yes. Ouch. Sheesh. I still have some construction, but construction speed is slowing down. We'll try to build what we can. My factory output itself is probably not going to be great either. So we're at minus 17% factory output, also due to the stability and everything. So not great, that situation. I might just actually limit that to 1 civ, because we're not going to complete any more than 1 civilian factory, and see if we can at least get some of these still completed before everything goes completely to crap. Where are my troops right now? They are on the trains in Ukraine. And why are you going to Ukraine? You do realize that you could have just taken the... Well, maybe it's the shortest route, yeah, and then they take the sea route. I don't actually know if we can access the Suez Canal. Who's controlling the Suez Canal? The Mutasafarat of Jerusalem. So that's Ottoman Empire. These should be friendly to us. Okay, so things are progressively getting worse. At least we're starting to do something now. So hopefully this will stop at some point, and I can start working on recovery. But these people, yeah, see what you've done? All because you had to try and cheat your way past elections. Like free and fair elections, my backside. You wanted power, and you were not afraid to have to drive people into economic collapse and ending their lives for that. Okay. Now, what is this now? The Anking Click declared war on left Kuomintang. Okay, I think we are starting to see a civil war breaking out over here. So as far as I know, these are the folks that we are supporting. We're definitely not okay. So they are autocratic. What are these guys? These are autocratic as well. And these folks over here, okay, these are socialists. So I am gonna, yeah, because these cities here, I think these are the legation cities. So I do need to preserve order here and not have the socialists start taking that stuff over. Can we send you something? Send volunteers. What can we send? We can send four divisions. Okay, so what kind of terrain are we dealing with here? Mostly mountainous. So let's grab a couple of troops from the European theater here. Definitely the 2 mountain divisions. And I might just... I don't think I need these guys, but I can just divert probably 2 regular infantry divisions. There we go. So this goes into the... actually not into the Asian theater, but we can send the 3rd Army under Nicholas von Falkenhorst, the 2 mountaineers and 2 infantry divisions, to help try and stabilize things there. So send volunteers, that one. And please send air as well. So we'll send the fighter wings over. That's the least we can do. 4 divisions, limit 4, yeah, send. So they will be arriving at some point. And then we will try to... Then we also have some troops up here, Festungskommando Ostasien. But I'm still sending the cavalry over just in case things get out of control and they start invading German East Asia here, because of strategic importance. So Singapore, that's probably the last thing I can do for today. Where is it? Resources, yes. Singapore is a major producer of rubber. A stupid amount of rubbers, really. And German East Asia as well. So we've got a lot of relatively precious resources. Also tungsten, that we don't really have an awful lot ourselves of. So when it comes to trade, and I think we are trading, currently we're trading chromium, but we will also at some point need to trade tungsten. And we can trade tungsten with German East Asia without too much trouble. So okay, so we are sending volunteers over, and that's going to take a little bit of time. Until these guys are there, and then actually, how long is it going to take? I think I can see that in the can I see that here, or can I see it? Do I have to see it in the? Hang on, no, I should be able to see that there. Embargoing. Where are my volunteers? Market access, material support, subject, non-aggression pact. No, I don't know where, but it should show up at some point, and we will try to do our best to quell the unrest here. And we've also got troops. We will also sending troops here, so if we get military access through, we might be able to land somebody here, and in case things go further out of control in Asia. We might be in the worst economic disaster in the history of Germany, but that doesn't mean we can't send the troops to keep the peace across the world. Does that sound familiar? I don't know. I feel like I've heard this before somewhere, but anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.